In this demonstration you learn how to promote a snapshot, which means that you copy the snapshot to its base blob. Let's switch to Visual Studio. Here you can see the promote snapshot async method of the coffee video storage class. There is a to-do command for you that you should throw the argument exception below only if the argument is not a snapshot. So let's check here with an if statement if the snapshot cloud blob is not a snapshot, and if that's the case, let's throw that argument exception. The next to-do command says that you should promote the snapshot, which means you should copy it to its base blob. So let's get rid of this to-do command and let's do this. To get the base blob, let's first grab the cloud blob container. To get the container, we can use the getCoffeeVideos container async method that we have in the coffee video storage class. Now let's create a base cloud blob variable and let's call on the cloud blob container the getBlob reference method that takes a blob name. As you might have noticed in the previous clip, a snapshot has exactly the same name as its base blob. That means to get the base blob, we can just use here the snapshot cloud blob's name property. And now we have actually a reference to the base blob. Now to promote the snapshot, you just call on the base cloud blob the start copy async method. And you can see that takes a cloud blob as a source. So let's pass in our snapshot cloud blob as a source and let's await that method. The interesting bit about the start copy async method is that the copy is executed in Azure. There is no blob downloaded to the machine where you execute that start copy async method. But now you might ask yourself, why is it called start copy async and not just copy async? When you hover it, you can see that it returns a task of string. The return string is something that is called a copy ID. You can use that copy ID with the cloud blob's abort copy async method. Here you can see this one takes a copy ID. Imagine if you copy a really large blob, there might be reasons to abort the copy. But in our case, we don't want to abort the copy, so we don't call that method and we also don't need the copy ID. On the cloud blob, you find also a property that is called copy state. And that property has, for example, the bytes copied, and it has also a status. That status is of type of the copy status enum. Here you can see the values of that enumeration. The status has the value pending while the copy is in progress. So now let's implement the logic here to wait while the status is pending. So let's just create a variable here and let's call it copy in progress. And let's set it to true. Now let's create a while loop and let's use that copy in progress variable. In the while loop, let's use the task class and let's just delay for 500 milliseconds. After that, let's call on the cloud blob the fetch attributes async method. When you call this method, you will also get the latest copy state. Now we can refresh the copy in progress variable and we can just use this statement here. Of course, you need to add an additional equal sign to check if the status is pending. Now let's just mark this code block here. Let's press Ctrl. And let's extract a method. Let's call the new method wait for copy to complete async. And let's rename the parameter to just cloud blob. I press Ctrl. To rename it. Great! Now we start here the copy by calling the start copy async method and then we wait for the copy to complete with our custom method. Now let's run the application and let's promote a snapshot. Let's select the Include Snapshots checkbox and let's click on Reload Videos. As you can see, the nose show vid is the current blob. Now let's select here the coffee on the board snapshot and let's click on Promote Snapshot. Snapshot promoted. Let's click on the current blob and you can see the title is now Coffee on the Board and we can see that video. Now let's select the Skateboarder 180 snapshot and let's promote that one. Snapshot promoted. Great. Let's select the base blob and you can see the new title and the new video. So the start copy async method copied the snapshot and also its metadata to the base blob. In the next clip, you will learn how to delete a blob that has snapshots.